What's up, y'all? It's your girl Shay Renee, and we are back today. Today, I want to talk about something different. Okay, still about love and marriage Huntsville, sort of. Okay, but I want to get y'all thoughts, and today we're gonna do something a little bit different. Okay, y'all know I don't really like to do no panels, child, because you know how the peoples be acting, baby. You know how the peoples be acting. Okay, but today we're gonna do a little different. I'm gonna invite y'all up to talk about the topic, and the topic is going to be, when is it time? When do we need to know when we can go on and start dating the man? Okay, is it okay if the person is an acquaintance, if it's an ex-friend? What are we doing? And I want to properly credit Square Biz 25. I think she's in the, thank you, Square Biz. Square Biz 25, amazing subscriber of mine, reached out to me last night, and she said, she gave me the idea. She was like, this would be something great to talk about. And I said, you know what? That is a great idea. And I did get a chance to join Queen Sheba's live. Just, I think she's still on there, but just a few minutes ago. And they were kind of talking about some of the same things. So I think it's good to just get different perspectives on this type of deal. So as y'all roll in, let's just get on into it like we always do, shall we? What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Shay Renee. So let's just get into it, shall we? All right, y'all. So I wanted to come to y'all and talk about, when is it the right time to say, you know what? I love this man. My friend ain't want him, or my associate dated him. You didn't date him, girl. So I'm going to date him, girl. Okay. When is it the appropriate time to be like, let's do this? Because let's just have a real conversation. There are a lot of times where there are men out here, men and women, right, where they probably could have made a good couple, or they could have been in a relationship with each other, but because of a blind loyalty that we all have that's unspoken of, bros before hoes, and sis before sister, before get taking her mister, okay, all of those things. But what if there's a time where it's like, you've been around your friend and she may have dated this guy for a couple of months, right? Or it's not even your friend, it's like your coworker, acquaintance of sorts. Y'all ain't real close like that, but you are around them, and this guy and this girl, we could tell from the time that we went out to eat with them that they should not be together, okay? But you notice, hey, I have some similarities with this man. He's attractive. Maybe we'll be a better match. Or are you of the sentiment of, you know what, we could probably be soulmates, but forget it. I'm about to just go ahead and stick over here and get in where I fit in. I'm not even about to date it. I'm not even going to make an attempt, even if he approaches you. I'm moving right along to talk about Moses, Sonny, and Destiny. Okay. Was it really such a dart to the gut wrenching or dart to the ego for them to start dating. Okay, what constitutes not dating somebody, right? You have Sunny and Moses are married now, but you have Destiny and Sunny. They were not friends, but they were co-workers. Sunny's job was to get information out of Destiny, which at the time was the talent, to make good TV, right? So does that mean that they are now anybody that Destiny has dated is off limits to Sunny? Is it off limits because Sunny met Moses and she understood what their relationship was? Or did she understand what the level of relationship was with them? Because Destiny so-called didn't really tell her much. I mean, hell, Destiny ain't tell us much on the damn show when she was on it. So I can imagine she didn't really tell Sunny very much. So I just want to get y'all thoughts. I have put a link in the chat. Please feel free to join at any time, come up on the panel. I want to get y'all thoughts on when is it okay to date somebody that somebody you know, maybe an ex-friend or a friend has dated. I'm going to tell y'all a story while y'all think about why y'all want to come up, okay? When I was in college, and hopefully my friends don't watch this, child, but y'all ain't going to know which ones it is anyway. But when I was in college, I had to, when I moved out of my freshman dorm, I moved in with two of my good girlfriends, okay? One of my girlfriends was dating this guy, and she was dating him. She was just going out on dates with him. It wasn't nothing serious. She wasn't like calling him her boyfriend or anything, but he really, really wanted my friend. Like he really was digging her. And so, oh, we have somebody that's joining up. Oh, Square Biz, thank you for joining.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Good. So let me finish telling my story real quick, and then we're going to get your thoughts. And I really want to talk to you about, I really want you to share, just kind of what your thoughts were behind this, because this is kind of like your brainchild, your baby. And I really want you to share with the audience, just what your thoughts were behind this. But let me tell them this little story real quick, because it'll give insight to what we're talking about. So long story short, there were three of us living in the house. So it was me and my two friends. So the one of my friends, she was dating this guy. He really liked my friend. Then she was like, he ain't really my type. I ain't really fooling with him. So maybe a year or two later, my other friend that lived with us, mind you, none of us live together anymore. We have all gone our separate ways, but we're all still friends. She started dating the guy that my friend was dating, and like really going after him real hard. Like she was making him dinners, having him coming over her mama house to visit her and all this. Like, but he still wanted my other friend. She didn't know, because I was kind of like the middle person. I got the one friend that he was dating previously saying, oh, he coming over here taking me out to dinner, trying to buy me cars and this, that, and the third. Then my other friend, she really want him. She cooking them dinner, having them come over. They hunching, and he ain't hunching my other friend, but he hunching her, but he don't really want her. It's just a lot going on. So in that scenario, I'm like, well, my one friend don't really like him like that. And she told me, she was like, well, if homegirl had just told me she liked him and she wanted to date him, I would have said, girl, go ahead, because I ain't tripping off of him. I'm just bleeding them dry. So those types of situations happen so much where friends feel like they have to be sneaky behind each other's back. But you can just be honest with each other and it could be all good. What are your thoughts, Square 25? Thank you for joining.
You're welcome. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you good.
Yeah, thank you for letting me come up.
Yeah, of course.
I kind of felt a way about this topic with Sunny and Destiny because I have tons of girlfriends that are single, never been married, and it doesn't even look like they'll ever get married because to me, there's a shortage when it comes to Black men. At least in my generation, I'm in my 50s. And in my generation, the men are just not there. whether I'm African or Black American or Black Caribbean, Black men are not very unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, if I meet a good man that a friend of mine dated before
Mm-hmm.
and they are no longer together, do I tell myself, okay, because he's dated my friend or my coworker? I mean, if it's a sister or a cousin or someone that close, no, I wouldn't even consider it. But if it's like a coworker or a friend that I wasn't that close to,
Mm-hmm.
and the man comes around and they are not together,
Mm-hmm.
should I stop myself from giving it a chance and see where it goes? Or just tell myself, you know what, because he dated someone I know, then it's a no-go land and I wouldn't do it. And then I'll find myself alone, no kids, no family, nothing. So to me, I felt it was a subject worth discussing because of the Sunny and Destiny situation that we have discussed for the past year. And no one really, I didn't see anybody discussing it on any forum. We were just focused on the two, Sunny and Destiny. But I was looking at it in a broad scheme of things.
Mm-hmm.
It applies to us women all over the world. So that was why I was thinking maybe it's a good idea to just discuss it. I don't find it wrong if the guy is a good guy and he's available, whether he's dated someone I know before or not. As long as they are not together, I don't see anything wrong. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe I can talk to the girl lady, let her know. But more than likely, sometimes when you go talking to people, they may not be together again, but she may not like it and it could turn into something else. So that was why I just wanted us to discuss this and see how what other people think about it.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's two different layers for me. So for me, like for example, if I'm date, it depends on the length or the longevity of the relationship, how deep it was. I can, if it's some guy that my friend just dated for like a couple of months and she ain't really care about him like that, I don't expect my friend to have an issue with one of our other friends or me dating them. I would at
Mm-hmm.
least have a conversation with her and say, "Hey, listen, me and homie over here, we kind of digging each other a little bit, but before I get in too deep, how would it make you feel if you saw us out on a date together?"
Right.
How would it make you feel? I would consider my friend's feelings. However, I agree. There is some validity in what you're saying, that I think that we're limiting ourselves because there are, for one, there aren't really a lot of black men in general out here willing to date. If you go back in really in time, white males are really the ones that were pushing marriage, and other cultures really cultures that were pushing marriage before marry before you carry, right? In black culture, that really wasn't that was popular in like the 60s, 70s into the 80s, right? Where we were pushing getting married because we really, at that time, we needed to get married so that we could have two incomes to support the household. And it was something wrong with you back in the day if you didn't have a man after the age of 22 or 23 or something like that. So, but nowadays, I think it's just because me and my husband were actually having a conversation about this before I even came on. He is, I don't know if he's been watching too many Kevin Samuels videos or what, but he has this mindset that women are they come to the table not telling the truth. He's like, your hair not real, that your lashes and this and that. I'm like, first and foremost, my hair is real. So what are you talking about? But secondly, he's saying that women come to the table having way too many expectations for men that they can't give back. So my question to the audience will be, what do you think is causing the disconnect for black males not wanting to marry? Because I think that that's a big ordeal too. We want to get married, and while the choices are very few, and we want to see if that's the case. You know what I mean? Like, is it okay to date a friend? But let's say you a friend's ex dude, but let's say you date the guy and he don't even want to get married. Where do we go from there?
Right.
You know, what are men looking for is one of the things that I would like people to answer that for me in the chat, or please feel free to click the link and others come up to give us some even more additional perspectives. But you know, I just feel like as I listen to a lot of my single friends, I do see a lot of that where I see my friends are asking for things that they aren't willing to give. You know, it's tough. Go ahead,
Right.
Scratch.
I see D is saying that women should be open to date other races, which is a good idea. I dated a white guy before and it was a good relationship and everything, but when I come home and I tell him my problems at work, some of my struggles in life, when I come in, I'm trying to explain to him. He didn't have any clue. He didn't understand what I was saying. So to me, I realized as much as when I was growing up, I always wanted to date the another race other than my race. That was the mentality I had when I was growing up. And then
Mhm.
I came to the US and I dated this guy I was living in the DC area at that time. And it was a nice relationship. We had a good time and everything. But then my struggles, like I was saying earlier on, when I'm trying to explain things to him and all that, he just didn't get it. And
Mhm.
I kind of grew up during that period, and I realized that I can't just focus on a particular race. You get what I'm saying? I have to be open-minded. And so I started doing that. And then I just realized, you know what? I really prefer someone from a Black person who understands me better. Because at the end of the day, to me, marriage is a lifetime thing. It's not just something you're going to get into and out. At least I wanted to get in and it to be a lifetime. So for
Yep.
me, I understand what Dee is saying, that to be open-minded, but there's some people that just don't want to go to the other race. They just want a Black man. You get what I'm saying? So it's not easy saying that, oh, go ahead and be open-minded and just date other races. There's a lot to it. You get
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So
Yeah, absolutely. And I get what you're saying. Also, I think Dee, you know, I think she brings a good perspective to the table. But for me, it's all about I can't get there with somebody that I'm not attracted to. I'm just not attracted. I love me a Black man, okay? And
yep,
you know, if you're going to take that stance, then you have to wait until you find a Black man and that is going to be able to meet your needs. You guys are going to be that you can connect with. Luckily for me, I was able to connect with my person in college. You know, there's
right.
some people that, because me and my husband met when I was 18 and he was 19 at Morgan State University. So we're a lot actually. Um, Most of our friends that are married met at Morgan. So we have like a really close knit group of friends, and all of us met at Morgan. So most people meet their significant other in high school or in college, but after that, then the dating pool gets a little mucky. You know, gets a little crazy because now you have to be willing to put yourself out there more. You have to be a little bit more vulnerable, um, and that can be tough. That can be tough. But kind of relating it to the topic at hand, where it comes to Moses, Sonny, and Destiny, right? um what are your thoughts on Moses? And this is kind of like what I was talking about earlier, where it's like you date somebody for 3 months and you like, I really ain't fooling with them. Oh, D is here. Hey D.
Hey,
Let me take my
Hi, Dee.
hi.
I'll take the banner. Hold on, I was trying to find the banner so I can take it down. But I was gonna ask you all, what are your thoughts on Moses? Wait, like he had been dating Destiny for 15 years on, but he met Sonny, and in 90 days he knew what he wanted. Is
You
it
see, men to me, oh, Dee, you want to go ahead?
Oh, sorry. I'm sitting in my driveway,
Oh no, that's fine.
and so I don't want to lose the connection.
Okay,
Oh, sorry.
no problem. Go
Um,
ahead.
I'm sorry for that sound. It's going to go away. I have no issue with Moses marrying Sonny in 90 days if that's the way they felt. But if you want, I can tell my story about marrying a friend's ex and all of that stuff. If
All
you want to
right,
circle back.
absolutely, go for it.
Okay, so I've been married for a while. I've been married nearly 20 years to my husband. But when we first met, he and his ex-girlfriend, I think they dated for maybe 6 to 8 weeks. We all worked together. I
Hmm.
ran the nursing home. I hired her, and he worked for the hospital that owned the nursing home. I was a contract employee. Anyway, we went on double dates with other people, and we would talk about our dates, and she would talk about him, and she was like, he's okay. I don't think we're really a match. She said, honestly, I think the both of you have more in common. I'm like, girl, I do not like that stuffed shirt white boy. He looks like a Republican. So but anyway, we still all kind of work together. So maybe a year later, she and I both decided to leave. She went on to work for another organization, and so did I. But he kept in touch. So he reached out to me, like during the Christmas season that next year, and asked if he I wanted to go see a movie and dinner. And so I reached out to her first. I'm like, guess who asked me out? And she was like, I think you should go for it. She said, I always thought you guys had a lot in common. So he and I went out, and then, there was nothing. No, we went out in July, and then there was nothing. And then in December, he asked me out again. And I'm like, what do you think? And I'm like, I don't mind white guys. I'm like, he might be too white. And she's like, yeah, maybe he is. So we went out again, and I'm like, you know what? I think I really do like him. And we've been together ever since. Now, he dragged his feet about marrying me. Like, we were no spring chickens. Like, I was like 35 at the time, and he was 40. He's 5 years older than I am. Then he dragged his feet about getting married. And I wanted to get married. I wasn't going to have a kid, and I wanted to have a kid. I had been married to before. My husband was black, but that had nothing to do with it. For me, it was about, who's the guy that I can build a life with? Who's the guy that I can have children with?
Hmm.
And who's the guy that I'm most equally yoked with? I think love is very important in a relationship, but being equally yoked and seeing life the same way is important to me, and working hard together and being able to do that. I wasn't able to do that with my first black husband because I was going to end up carrying him,
Mm,
and I wouldn't do I wasn't going to do it. And so I left so I can have what I really wanted. And it just happened to be with a white guy.
there you go. There you go. Square biz.
Yeah.
What?
With the Destiny and hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, with the Destiny and Moses thing, I never found anything wrong with her what's her name, Sunny, going marrying him in the end, because to me Destiny had him for 15 years on and off. If he was really interested in her, he would have married her. Men know when they meet a woman, they know who they want to marry. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if you've been going back and forth for 15 years and he hasn't chosen you, and then he chose Sunny, if I was her, I would not make a big deal out of it. You get
Hmm.
what I'm saying? And to me, I feel like although there is a shortage of black men, us black women make things difficult for ourselves. We have all these rules and regulations. He has to be this way, he has to be that, he has to be that. There is already a shortage of men. And then you also have all these other expectations. You get what I'm saying? So to me, if the man is a good man, and you see where I come from, and I'm also a Muslim, in
Oh.
my culture, we don't believe in dating. You
Mm.
meet a guy, and I think Indians also are like that. The Asians are also like that, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think they have the same mentality. But we believe that you meet someone, and at least in Islam, it doesn't encourage you to date. You meet someone and your parents will investigate who are his parents, where are they from, what kind of people are they, and if they get a good feedback. So your parents don't necessarily even have to know the guy's parents. If they know them, that's fine, but then they'll do their investigations, they'll find out who the person is. The parents are not concerned of the girl or the guy, they are concerned of his family. What kind of family is he from? And if they feel he's from a good family, he was raised well and all that stuff, then they'll go ahead and do the connections, and then you guys, they'll give you the chance to meet, and if there's an attraction, you go ahead and do it. Sometimes even there may not be an attraction, and people will go ahead and get married. You get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, marriage is not just falling in love. The falling in love part is just a small part. Love dies. You'd be surprised. You get married and it's not that it dies, but you have to work on it. It's a decision. To me, marriage is a decision you make. You meet a guy, he's a good guy, he has everything, he's working and everything is going on well. You make that decision. Okay, this is the guy I want. Yeah, maybe, you do love him a little bit, or you're madly in love with him. That's fine. But it's a decision that you make, and then you go ahead and marry him, and then you have to work hard on it. There are good days, there's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days, but it's all up here in our minds. If you want this to work, you work on it and it will work. You get what I'm saying? I hope I'm not getting off the subject too much, but that is what we believe, Muslims, at least some of us in Muslims, we believe that. So when you meet someone, it's not just about who he's also been with. It's the main thing is what kind of person is he? And if he's a good person and you think he's the one for you, go ahead. Don't stop yourself and come up with all these rules. He's dated this person, he's dated that person. So to me, when Sunny met the guy and they liked each other, he's been with Destiny. But at that time, to me, I believe, Sunny, that they had broken up. And all evidence shows, as at least from now, from the time, I think the time Destiny came and had some hair, she's told us, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, that she stopped dating him a year ago. So it's obvious to me that she wasn't with him when they were to get Sunny met him. So to me, I've never had an issue with Sunny being with the guy, as long as he wasn't, he was single. You get what I'm saying? And Destiny, her record, from what we have learned from her, to me, I think it was a booty call with the guy. So to me, I never found anything wrong. But just going back to women in general, Black women in general, I really feel like we've set too many rules for ourselves, and we found ourselves alone, no babies, no marriage, and we complain, oh, there are no men. There are men. It's just that we have too many rules. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about it.
I agree. Love Me says, I have 2 college educated sons that both graduated from Morgan. Yay, go Bears. They have master degrees and are homeowners. They both want a wife that match their educational background. They must be Christians. This probes the question. Thank you so much for commenting, Love Me. And they will have that. They can get it. I have a question for the audience and for you two amazing panel. What do you think makes a man want to get married? What drives him to be married, and what's the benefit of marriage from?
I'll go, D.
Okay.
I'm trying to think what makes a man want to get married, and like, 'cause I'm on my second marriage.
Mhm.
My first husband and I, again, we definitely had things in common, and I think, ultimately, I think we have been together for maybe 3 or 4 years or so, and I guess we thought, the time we put in, we got on fairly well, and our friends around us were getting married, and he proposed, and I think that he wanted to get married because he knew I was honest, faithful, smart. I have 2 degrees,
Mhm.
and hardworking and committed. And my second husband, now again, he was already 40 years old when we started dating. He didn't necessarily want to get married, and all the people he associated with were married, happy couples. And he was like, half marriages end up in divorce, and I don't know if I want children. And he just, dragged his feet. He loved me and he thought we did great together. He just didn't know. I had to give him an ultimatum. I'm like, I'm already in my late 30s. I'm running out of
Mm-hmm.
time. I want to be a mom. Either we have to get married or we're going to have to break up. And I was willing to let go. It tore my heart apart. But we took a couple weeks apart, while he tried to figure out what it was he wanted to do. And his male friends were calling me like, "D, are you okay? Don told us what's going on." And I'm like, "I'm fine." But I meant what I said. We have to get married and we have to have at least one child, or we have to go our separate ways. So
Mm-hmm.
he decided to propose because there's no reason not to. We got married. Again, we'll be celebrating 20 years next year. And we have a good life. We got on well together. We did have one kid. I had all sort of infertility problems and blah blah blah, but she's here, and I would say that we're happy. So men know. I had men tell me we know when we know.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. Square biz.
What was, repeat that question again? I'm sorry.
What is the benefit of marriage to men, and what makes them what do we feel makes them want to get married?
I think men, to me, they just like us, we want a good person. They also want a good person, someone to spend the rest of their life with.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they, unlike us, we are all into this being in love and all that stuff. I don't see men also feeling the same way like we do. You get what I'm saying? To them, um, I've lost my train of thought.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
um, to them, it's like I don't. I know what I want to say, but I'm having a difficult time explaining it. Let me think about it
Yeah.
a little bit, and I'll come back.
While you think
Can I?
about, I'm gonna
Okay, I'm
find
sorry.
a post. So there was a post that a colleague or well, an acquaintance of mine rather posted the other day, and it was a young lady just walking down the street, and she said she made a comment. She said marriage is only beneficial to men, and she said that basically women that are married, we are jealous of single women because they're getting all the benefits of, whatever a man is providing within a marriage without having to be tied down to them on paper. And basically, when you get married, you're signing up to be their personal slave, where you're just signing up to cook their dinners, have their children, and still have to work a full-time job, those types of things. I'm looking forward so you guys can hear what she said verbatim. But what do you think about that? Are we generally signing up to be a servant to our husbands? And what is the benefit of marriage? I'll pose the question back for us. What is the benefit of marriage for women?
Um, I'll go.
Okay.
So I for men, I mean, I was brought up by my grandmother, so I have old fashioned ways, but I also have modern ways now. I'm a well
Mhm.
educated Black woman who could stand on my own 2 feet, but
Yep.
I was taught to men pay attention to things. I keep a neat home. Um, I I cook. Yeah, I do cook for my husband. I clean. I do the laundry. And I serve my husband, but in turn, my husband serves me. So
Hmm.
I have my own business. I have excellent health insurance provided by my husband. I don't know how much our mortgage is. I don't know how much our electric bill is, my car payment, because my husband takes care of those things. While I'm capable of doing those things myself, I don't have to
Hmm.
because, I can be home when my kid gets off the bus. I can go to the PTO meetings. I can be the chaperones on the field trips. I don't work a full-time job. Again, I've worked for myself for the past 12 years, and he affords me the opportunity because if I don't have a good year, he's got me. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the benefit to me. The benefit to him is that his kid is happy. He comes onto a clean house, a hot meal, and clean clothes. I think we have an even exchange.
Mm-hmm.
I find no problem with that.
Okay. Thank you for joining us, Shy. How are you? What
Hi, Shay. Can you
do you
hear me?
Oh, yes, I can hear you very good.
Oh, I'm always in your chat. So I'm like, finally get to talk to you. So it's so good to talk to you
Oh,
guys.
thank
But
you.
I just wanted to jump in and kind of like give my opinion on that post that you read because I'm married too. And
Mm-hmm.
I've been married for 3 years, but I actually been with my husband for 10. So we've been together for a very long time.
Okay.
And I think that that is what single women think of marriage. And I do not feel like in any sense of the word controlled or anything. I'm similar to how Dee was saying. My
Mm-hmm.
life is great. My life is better because I feel because of my husband. He does a lot for us. I have 2 children, 2 young children. He does so much for us. He breaks his back. I don't I work, of course. I have my own business, but
Mm-hmm.
if I don't want to do anything, I don't have to.
Right.
I mean, I think that they have a very negative view on marriage, and I feel like marriage is a beautiful thing, especially when you marry the right person. And I think that part of it is society,
Yeah.
and the man hating. I really wish that they would stop with that because there is a lot of good, and I'm married to a black man. I'm a black woman too.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of good black men that want to get married, but sometimes it's not in the cards because I will say this, but a lot of times it be because of us and how we act and how we don't listen. And I can go on and on, but I don't want to take over the chat. But I do want to say one other thing about Moses and Sonny
Mm-hmm.
and Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Destiny is kind of trying to make the public feel sorry for her. I don't feel sorry for her at all.
Mm-hmm.
But they had a situationship. It was nothing serious. It was kind of like a sneaky link type of thing. So
Right.
whenever you're single and I'm single, or if you're not single, we just, connect. It wasn't a real relationship from what I'm seeing. And I think that since she was embarrassed in that way, she was able to, well, she tried to capitalize off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that Sunny was wrong. I'm a fan of Sunny. I like her a lot. Um, Maybe it wasn't the best way of going about it, but who cares? I
Yep.
mean, she doesn't owe her anything. She doesn't owe her any loyalty. It's not her fault. I mean, if Moses felt like he didn't owe her any loyalty, I mean, why should Sonny?
Right.
So that's my only thoughts on that. And I'll drop down. I'll let someone else come up if you want to
Oh,
drop me down.
and I can have up to I think
Oh,
10.
okay.
You're good. Um,
Okay.
I'll say this. And thank you so much for your perspective. I think that a lot of us haven't really been totally outwardly honest about the whole Sunny and Destiny thing. I think some people, one, were saying certain things just because they don't like Destiny, and two, some people were against it just because the majority of the audience was against it. For me, I'm going to be honest and say this. I don't see anything wrong with Sunny and Moses being married. From the time that Destiny set foot on the set of this show, it was toxic. She telling her husband, "You don't want his last name," and it just really made me think, what kind of conversations have y'all had before y'all got to this level? It just seemed like they were bumping heads even at that dinner table with Martell and Melody when they were married and together and they were having dinner in that scene. It's just like Destiny just wants to be in control, but she doesn't have any control of her life. She
Mhm.
doesn't have a go-getter mentality. And I feel like Moses saw that. and he just used her for whatever he could use her for. And I think he felt like he saw a little bit of something in her, where he wanted to help her. And so that's what made him fund her ventures and try to help her be better. But when he saw that, listen, I don't want struggle love. I've been out of jail. I'm trying to do better. I want somebody that's a go-getter, that's going to help me do things, help me better myself. And just Destiny is not it. She's constantly going to be, she's going to bear weight on me. Like, and he didn't want that. So, you know, to kind of relate to my own personal life in Square Biz, I'm gonna let you go because I think you unmuted because you maybe gather your thoughts, and I don't want you to forget. So, in my marriage with my husband, we've been married for 11 years, together for 21 years. Like I said, ever since we were in college. And I personally enjoy marriage. One, because I saw that growing up. My parents have been married all of my years, so they've been married for 39 years. And my husband's parents have been married, I believe, for 45, 46 years. So both of us grew up seeing that. So I think that also plays a little bit a part of what you yearn for as you when you grow up. Because, and that doesn't mean that, oh, because my parents were married, I want to be married. No, because some people could have seen their parents continue in a toxic marriage, right? But my parents were positive, and so were his growing up, still in loving relationships. Um, what I enjoy most about marriage with my husband is I get to be my full authentic self. Like my quirky ways, my weirdness, my sometimes messiness, child, because he is Mr. Clean. Keep it all pristine, okay? My closet will be messed up, but his is all nice and neat. Our main areas are always nice and good because you don't want nobody to see the foolishness. But I'm just, letting y'all see underneath that he he loves my imperfections as well, right? Um, Things I provide for him. The man would never go to the doctor and make an appointment if I ain't tell him to. Okay. He wouldn't know how to pay the gas bill, electric bill, light bill, mortgage. I pay all of those bills. But he relinquishes all of his money over to me. He trusts me. And I think that that's the benefit of me because he wants somebody. When he was growing up, his parents, my husband's parents do well. So he didn't really have to do very much. Like he was a mama's boy for the longest time. Like he didn't have to be responsible for a lot of things. Hell, I think his mama was paying his car note until he was in his 30s, but I digress. But he needed somebody that he can lean on. He can lean on me and I can lean on him with my business. He helps me with my business, helps me keep things organized. He's always there for me. He's always a shoulder to lean on. He listens to me, which is a big thing. Communication, it was a huge, huge thing for me with any man. And I was one of the women in my family that my uncles were like, she ain't never gonna get married. That girl is so headstrong. And because I am not the type of person to, if somebody gives me BS, I'm like you, D, I'm ready to check out. Because if you're not going to give me what I want, or I'm telling you what I need and what I want, and you are specifically letting me know, and you continuously shown me that that's not what you're going to do, then I'm going to go ahead and head on out. My husband, I had to give him an ultimatum too in the end, because I think I was 28 and he was 29. And I said to him, I said, listen, this is all cool and all. I didn't really wasn't pressed to get married, but now I'm getting older. And if we're going to have children, I need to go and get ready to pop it out. And I'm not going to be nobody's baby mama. So either you propose by the end of August or I'm gone. He is stubborn. So of course he waited till the end of August. But he proposed at the Museum of Natural History in DC. We went over to where did we eat dinner at? It was some steak place right across the street, and the rest is history. Got married in Jamaica, been together ever since, conquering everything. So I say all that to say men know, women know, but you have to know where the benefits are with each person, because that's just reality. If this person is not benefiting you, or they're not adding to your life, or your elevation, then we have to be willing to say, hey, this ain't for me. We have to be willing to walk away. We can't be willing to try to build somebody and wait for them to change. We can't do that. And I think that's the trouble with a lot of people and why they're not getting married. Because one, we don't do the work, right? And we're not honest about what we really want. Go ahead, Square Biz. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't talk too long and make you forget.
No, no. In terms for me with men, yes, they also want love like we do, but they are more. I believe they are more into. Um, they want a good woman. So, like, let's say Destiny and what's her name? What's his name? Moses, for example. He met her, and I think according to him, if I'm not correct me if I'm wrong, but I could have sworn I heard him say in an interview that when he met her, he was already seeing someone and she was okay to that. You see, men watch all that. So they will go ahead and have their fun with you and have sex and all that stuff. But in their
Hmm.
mind, they know what kind of woman they want. They want someone they want to spend the rest of their life with, someone who will support them and be there for them, just like us women, the stuff that we want, they also want the same thing. So if you go to a man and you show him certain signs of you, like you are willing to just have a good time and you don't mind, like with him, I think they'll date a little bit and then she will go away, and for a while he's also dating other people, she's dating other people, then they'll come back again, meet again, and then they'll date again. You see, men watch all these things. If you're doing all that, you're going back and forth with other men, he's watching and he knows right away, this is not the woman I want to marry. She's the one I'll
Right.
just have fun with. You get what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
men just like us, they want support and someone to love them, someone to take care of them, someone to discuss things and stuff like that. But they, when it comes to the love part, how we women see love, we fall in love and we are all excited and all. Men, I don't think men feel, they also feel that way, but not to the degree that we do. They are more, they have deeper thoughts into it. You get what I'm saying? We'll meet a guy, we know that he's into other women, he's doing this, he's doing that, and we end up marrying them. You get what I'm saying? But men, they sit back and they watch us, and based on how we move, they'll decide, no, you know what, this is not the girl for me. You get what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm making sense, but
You're making a lot of sense.
right.
Nanny,
So
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, that's it. You can go ahead.
Nanny of the Maroon says, as a married woman myself, I have to say women are unfortunately most of the time on the losing side in a marriage. I'm very independent and pro woman, so I look out for myself in my marriage. That's a good segue. I found the post, y'all, the young lady said about women in marriage. So I'm gonna start it over. Let's listen to this.
Promise you, if you speak to married women, they're gonna tell you the same thing. If you had a very honest conversation with a married woman, she's gonna tell you, "Oh yeah, we're married. My husband does this, and this. I don't like it, but we're married."
Uh-oh, my service. Come on now.
Like, people are trying to weaponize marriage, and women have fallen for this hook, line, and sinker. Women don't benefit from marriage. Women don't benefit from childbirth. I don't care what anyone says. It's a fact. It's statistics. You could look it up. You could Google it. You could do whatever you want. It's no benefit in it for us. So, ladies, why are y'all fighting for something? You're basically fighting for domestic servitude. You can't wait to be his slave. You can't wait to cook every meal. You can't wait to clean up after this grown man. You can't wait to make all his appointments and do all these things. All for what? To say you married and to throw it in a single bitch face when we out here living a life that you are missing? Backwards. Ass backwards at that. Promise.
Mind you, this young lady is walking. Where is your car? Where is your scooter? Girl, what
Can I
y'all
say
think about
something?
one? Go ahead.
I do find that so funny. It's like, to me, she has like vitriol towards married women. I don't know where that comes from, but it's like, okay, why do y'all have so many children? y'all have so many children and you don't want a husband. Like, why are you all giving the most precious things to these men? I don't understand that. And honestly, I don't never throw my marriage in somebody's face. I mean, I talk about it. I talk about it from a standpoint of me being happy to be with a person. Similar to how you said, like, man, this is my person who I could just be myself with.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that with another woman. Like, like it's, your man is your better half. So I do get mad when I hear stuff like that, and I do not want that person's life as a single woman. Like I said, I'm very, very happy. I don't have to do much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I don't have to do any heavy lifting. Of course, I take care of my kids and everything that needs to be done around the house, but that's easy. I mean, cooking, I gotta eat too. I
Right.
gotta wash my own clothes. I gotta take care of the kids too. So I think they got it all wrong. And I think like that sounds like a black woman, but
It
I
was.
think that we're not being, groomed to be married. That's why we got a lot of broken homes in our community. So that's all I'll say. And I really do think that we should change our mind when it comes to that, because our kids is growing up, and like, I know for your family, you said that you guys grew up and you seen marriages. It
Yep.
wasn't like that for me. I think that me and my sister and my brother is the only ones that's really married in my
Mm-hmm.
family. But a lot of people don't see that. So when you see negativity like that, it just makes it more toxic. So
Yeah.
um, I really wish that people would change their mindset when it comes to marriage, because it is not any type of form of slavery or anything. Not unless you with the wrong person, but that happens all the time. But I can't say that for myself.
Yeah, I think that lady described and D, I'm gonna let you talk. Let me say this real quick. I think she described a married single woman. And that's really not the case all the time. Like I said, my husband, I don't know if I said this, he does the laundry. I don't have to cook a thing. I don't remember the last time I cooked was Tuesday, and that's because I wanted to. Like, my husband cooks almost every other night. And the only reason he don't do it every night is because we eat leftovers. There's only 3 of us. So, he does everything. That is Mr. Mom around here. And it's not anything that needs to be like glorified, right? Like, your partner is supposed to uplift wherever you are weakest. I work a lot outside of the home. My husband works from home. So he has more allotted time to do those things. So that would be crazy for him being home all day. And then I got to come home after working a long day running my business, and I'm getting home late at night. I don't have no dinner. I got to do your laundry. Because I'm going to be asking what you've been doing all day. So if that's what she's seeing with her friends, I can understand her mentality. But that just gives me, you haven't seen positive examples of marriage. What are your thoughts, Dee?
Can you hear me okay? I have my earpods on.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So like I said, I was raised by my grandmother, so old
Mhm,
school. I
mhm,
was groomed to be raised to be a wife. I was raised to, how to cook, how to keep a nice house. Because she would say, well, if your husband's friends come over and your house is dirty, they're not going to say that he's dirty. They're going to say his wife is a pig. So she would tell me that. But
mhm,
she also raised me to be educated and independent in case I have to be, because she had a bad marriage. So she never, just in case stuff went left, I could also be a woman that could take care of myself. So that's the woman that I am. That young lady, honestly, she sounds bitter to me. She wants a husband, but nobody will marry her. But
mhm,
I think again, because I'm of a different generation, I'm very early Gen Xer, I think that we need to teach our younger Black women how to be just a little bit softer. You can be the boss bee, but you can also be a wife that doesn't mind cooking a meal for her husband. Like I do the cook. I take on the responsibility. But if I tell my husband I don't feel like cooking tonight, he'll be like, okay, do you want me to bring something home? Or sometimes he'll eat a bowl of cereal. But
mhm,
I do these things out of a choice and a role that I have assumed, and I gladly do so because he does his part. But I'm sorry that young lady just sounds a little bitter. I don't feel like any sort of slave or in servitude or anything like that. But I think we need to help these young women be a little softer. It's like if this is what you really want, find some balance. I think they should have their standards. There's nothing wrong with saying, I'm not going to put up with X, Y, and Z. No one
Mm,
should put up with X, Y, and Z if they
Yeah.
don't want to.
for sure. Go ahead, Square Biz.
No, I was just agreeing with what she said. But then, not to deviate from the subject, there I was reading the comments and someone was talking about the fact that Sunny just met him 3 months and she married him. So was she desperate and all that stuff? To me, the number of months you meet a man, although it matters, it shouldn't be the main focus. I met my husband, and 3 months later, we got married, and we've been married for almost 10 years now. We have our issues, ups and downs, but like I said, marriage is a decision, and you have to work on it.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to Sunny and meeting him for 3 months, to me, yeah, I wouldn't. If you meet a guy and he's a good person, and like with her, it's not just she just met him. She said he knows her family. So I'm sure people she spoke to her family members and who know him and they'll tell him, oh, he's a good guy, he's from a good home or whatever. Yeah, he's been to jail, he's done some things. You can't we are all human beings. We make mistakes, and
Mm-hmm.
some of us sometimes our mistakes causes us we end up in jail. That doesn't mean the man himself is a horrible. He made some terrible decisions. You get what I'm saying? And he ended up in jail. But she met him, and for me, you see, I because I'm a Muslim, everything I do is from the Islamic point of view. And in Islam, it doesn't encourage us to date before marriage, because you date before marriage and then you can end up having sex, and that is not in Islam. You're not supposed to do that. So when you meet someone and you have people that know him or her and they can speak on the person's behalf, if it's really a good person and you want to go ahead and get married, I don't see anything wrong with getting married in a month or two. If I have good information about him, marriage to me is dating him will not show me the kind of person he is till I actually live with him. That is when you get to start knowing the person. People can tell you all they want about someone and tell, oh, he's good, he's this, he's that. You wouldn't really know till you actually live with him. That is what I believe. You get what I'm saying? So, although it's good to date someone and get to know the person, bear in mind that you wouldn't really know him till you actually live with him. So yeah, you can decide to get to know him and spend a year or whatever, but the number of months doesn't really tell you the type of person the person is. To
Yeah.
me, that's how I think.
No, I agree. Lawson Blair says time isn't reflective of marriage longevity. However, the fact Sonny didn't know the specifics of Moses' parole violation and she's now left defending their choices alone. Hold on, y'all.
No, but you see, that's the thing. That's the thing. Um, can you hear me?
Yes.
That's the thing. We just assume things. How do we know that she didn't know stuff about his parole? We just assume. We think we know, but you don't know the true story.
Well,
So we
I'll say this, Square Biz, not to cut you off. Sunny, I did get a chance to watch her 3 hour live that she did where Tay was up there as a co-host. Shout out to Tay. She said, oh, the Gossip Girls thought I was leaving them. But she talked about how she wasn't aware. She really wasn't aware of the backlash, right? She thought in her mind, oh, I thought he would just get, house arrest or whatever. But his parole officer was very, very strict. And we had she said that they told the parole officer before and had gotten permission for him to come to Huntsville and do the traveling and things of that nature. But there came to a point where he had to kind of re-up that permission and he didn't do his due diligence. And she said she hasn't ever dealt with anything like this, so she was unaware. So I think it's part she's never dealt with it before. She never been to jail and had to be on parole, so she don't know. Um, I just think it was just a sad circumstance, right? So, go ahead, Square Biz, and go ahead and finish your point, and then Nanny of the Maroons, go right ahead.
No, then you can go ahead.
Okay. Thank you for coming up, Nanny of the Maroons. How are you? Go ahead and let us know. What are your thoughts?
Hey,
Hello.
hey, how are you guys doing? Oh, thank
Good.
you very much for choosing this topic.
Yeah. All of it.
It's a really great topic. I just want to
Mm-hmm.
say, like, from from my perspective, it's like I really love marriage. I enjoy being married. I've been with this man now for over 20 years. We have like really the best relationship, but there have to be something installed in the relationship before you get married. We were both very career driven. We have both high earning jobs, so we are both independent in the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes because of the status that women have in the society, they are, more dependent on the men. And when you're dependent on someone in a relationship, that will always have some impact on you as the person who is dependent. And that's most of the time the woman. So that's why I say that the women they are most of the times the ones that lose when they are in a marriage, because
Mm-hmm.
they're the ones who have to put up with all the BS. They have to
Mm-hmm.
put up with the cheating. They have to put up with the mistreatment, with the disrespect, because they don't have a chance to leave. So I think it is very important for us to teach our young girls to be independent, to get your education, to do something with your education, you know? Because
Mm-hmm.
I have everything. I have my education. I have a very good job. I have a leading position in my job, just as my husband, and we still have a very good functioning marriage. We have a child, and we are happy. But
Mm-hmm.
I can set my boundaries just as he can set his boundaries, because he knows that I have the same rights as he has in the relationship. And I think when a man knows that, he definitely treats you a bit different. He definitely treats you different. And respect is very important from both sides. Like, I respect my husband, I honor him, I know he's a great person, and he knows that about me also. So respect is very important. But women, please have something for yourself and be there for yourselves. A lot of women, they are not there for themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
And just that's my take on it. That's my take on it. And I come from a family of very independent women. Like, I was born in Jamaica, and sometimes I hear, they think, oh, Jamaican men are like very, they're masculine, and the women have to abide by their rules. But I've never witnessed that in my family. And I have 8 uncles and only 4 aunts. But the women, they are so powerful. Even my grandmother, she had 13 children, and she is until this day, she's such a force to deal with, such a powerful woman. And I grew up like this. My grandfather was a very respectful man. He treated my grandmother like a queen. I never heard anything about him being, like stepping out of the marriage or anything. Never ever, until this day.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we women have to set the goalpost, because if you don't do it, like, who's going to do it for you? We are always talking about no one is protecting us, no one is cheering us on, but you have to be there for yourself first.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good point,
Yeah.
Nanny. You know,
So
it
that's
makes
how I see it.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for bringing your viewpoint to the table. It kind of brings to mind for me, what is your definition of submissive, or level of being submissive in a relationship, given that you are very powerful, very powerful, very educated, right? Your husband the same. You have your level of independence within your marriage, right? So that creates a beautiful dynamic between the two of you. But what is your definition of being submissive as a wife in the marriage?
Well,
For
maybe I
me,
just don't think of that term.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Exactly.
think of that term, because just like I would say this as a person. I will go to work maybe the 12 hours. But if I come home and my husband,
Mm-hmm.
wants to eat, he will get a fresh cooked meal. I will, if even if I've just had only 4 hours of sleep, I will still get up with him and help him get ready for work because I know this makes his day much more fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I know he will do the same for me. Like if I travel a lot for work, I travel to a lot of different countries here across Europe or, across the world, Japan, Korea, whatsoever. And he's always there with me. Like if I have to get up 3 o'clock in the night to go to the airport, he will not sleep. And I always say, go to sleep. You have to go to work in the morning. But he said, no, I can't sleep when I know you're leaving. So I think it has to be a two-way road. I'm not the type to say, I'm going to submit to my man. I don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I just do what I think will make the person happy. And that's what I also do with everyone who is like in my inner circle. I go to lengths to know that people are well taken care of, that people are happy. But I'm not going to, like, I have to submit to my man. I have to do this. I have to do that. No, I genuinely love and care for this person. And, and everything that I do also reflect that.
Okay.
But this thing about you have to be submissive, and if the woman is not submissive, I don't want her. I think we should just maybe like,
Yeah.
mhm.
stop.
Yeah.
How do you say? Like we should stop talking about this submissive thing because I think it's a little bit of BS. Because I always have the feeling the men who are saying this, they don't have nothing to offer most of the time. Some of them don't even have a job. Like, come on. You understand what I'm saying?
Me, I'm a Muslim, and in Islam, you
Oh
have
no,
to be
and
submissive to your
I'm
husband. And
yeah,
Square Biz, give me 1 second. I want to shout out QT in the chat.
okay,
Shout out to QT. Thank you so much for joining. QT says submissiveness is giving into the process of marriage for me. You both submit. People mistake submissiveness for subservient, and I agree. I also want to point out I got to meet QT in person at Chef Don Don's brunch that he had a couple of weeks ago now in the DC area. Very super sweet. She has an amazing story about her marriage as well. So thank you for contributing to the conversation for sure, QT. And I hope you're doing well. Go ahead, Square Biz. What were you saying? I'm so sorry.
for me, being a Muslim, yeah, we have to be submissive to your husband. People, we can spend the whole day having this debate, and I'll probably be the only one thinking the way I'm thinking in this sense. It can be 50-50 to
Mm-hmm.
me, from my beliefs. It
Okay.
cannot be 50-50. It has to be at least 60-40. One of their couple has to bend. You get what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
and what I understand about being submit doesn't mean that when I get my paycheck, I go and hand it over to my husband, I bow to him and he walks all over me. No, there has to be this respect, make him feel that he's a man of the house, the head of the house. There are ways to go about it in a respectable manner, and he also should treat you in a respectable manner. But
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to submissiveness, yes, I think the woman should um, be submissive. If you want your marriage to yeah, you should be submissive, and you shouldn't think it's 50-50 like that. You see, when we think it's 50-50, that's where some of us women, we end up, they say this, we say that, and we think we are all that. You get what I'm saying? But if you, in your mind, you respect your husband you see him as the head of the house, and you have that respect for him, you um I don't I get very nervous when I'm talking, but you will find yourself in a more happier marriage. You get what I'm saying? Than Because a lot of times we believe we are equal to this man. Yeah, we are equal to a certain degree, but you also have to give him that respect as the man of the house. So that's how I see it. So I mean, I don't disagree that you shouldn't you should allow the man to walk all over you. No, I'm not saying that, but
Right.
you have to also give him that respect that he's the man of the house. So to me, I don't see it as 50-50, and I'm very submissive to my husband, but he doesn't walk all over me. He loves me, he respects me. I can be very crazy when I want to, but to a certain level. You get what I'm saying? So
Thank you. Thank you for adding a different perspective. I think it's always healthy to have that. Brittany Janae says, I'm learning to love myself again after finally closing the chapter of a toxic relationship. You know what? I can respect that, because I think the challenge that a lot of people have is that we feel like we've put a lot of time and energy into relationships, and we always have that silent fear of, oh, he's going to go be in a relationship with somebody else and do better, kind of like
Mhm.
Destiny Sunny in Moses' situation, where Destiny may be feeling like, wow, I put in 15 years with this man, and he go and be with Sunny after 90 days. Now she got a damn ring. But we have to be able to relinquish that and release that. If the man goes and marries somebody after 30 days, so what? That somebody wasn't for you. You never know why those things didn't work out, because sometimes we could be blocking our own blessings. But thank you for sharing that, Brittany Janae, my cancer sister. Okay. QT, thank you for joining us. What say?
Hey,
Hello.
hello. How are you doing?
I'm good. Good, good.
Good. Yay, I'm so happy you did a panel. Yay,
Yeah,
I remember you talking about this. I'm glad you did it.
good. I'm glad. I'm glad. Listen, that's why I was so happy to see you, because I said, okay, I'm doing the right thing. But what are your thoughts on the topic?
So listening to the ladies, and I admit I'm a little late, so I'm gonna have to go back and catch up. But I was drawn to this conversation, like you and I had a little bit of this conversation where, I was with my husband for 22 years until his passing. It's been 2 years now. And I'll say, I did not have a lot of examples of marriage for me, but I always knew it was something that I wanted for myself. And that at the time when I thought I would have kids, I knew I wanted to have a family. And I knew that I would wanted to do that with someone that I could trust and depend on. And that's from my own experience with my dad, who, he wasn't dependable. And I was raised to be independent and strong and able to stand on my own 2 feet, but also not to be so rigid where if a man comes into your life that you don't let them come and be who they are. And I believe in partnership. My husband was definitely my partner. That doesn't mean 50-50, but he was definitely my partner, and I feel like he respected everything that I brought to our relationship and our marriage. But the thing that gets me about submissiveness is that that's not for everyone. And like I said, it's not, and some people also mistake that to subservience. No, we both submit to the process of marriage. We both are in service to each other. But um, it doesn't mean that I'm less than him. Did I respect him as the head of my household? Yes. But that is something that he earned from me. That is something that he showed me that, hey, I make good decision makings. Yes, I will take care of you. All of these other things. Like, he kept his word. He was a man of his word. And I think sometimes some men today, just listening to some of them, not all, there are some good men in this world, they feel like they don't have to prove anything. And I think maybe it's a communication thing between us because, women are used to being, whatever their experience is, women are used to being independent and having to take care of themselves and maybe being a little more hardened than um they usually would be. That now there's a communication barrier, and some of them don't know how to be softer and let that man, quote unquote, lead because they've had to take care of themselves for so long, right? And I can't say that that happened to me because I met my husband, I was in my early 20s. I was 22, really young, so I was starting out in life. So I was happy to be with someone who had some life experience and who could help me figure out my place in life. But you can't just come into a woman's life and demand your place in her life. You have to show her your value just like she shows you, hey, this is my value as a partner. I think we've lost a little bit of that with this whole submissiveness conversation. I hope all of this made sense. I feel like I'm rambling a little bit.
No, 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 no. But I agree with you. I think we're all kind of wrapping it all up in a big bow and saying the same thing. I think that one, I agree in the chat. Somebody said something to the, it was you actually. Submissiveness is giving, and basically it's mistaken for subservient, and I agree with that. Like people think like I think some men have this false sense of reality that, oh, submissive in a relationship means that my wife has to do whatever I tell her to do. And there are men that I wouldn't let you lead me to Wawa versus lead me in life. Okay.
Yes.
So leading, you have to earn the ability to lead me anywhere, because I'm not going to follow you blindly and you lead me down a road of treacherous life skills. Like I can't do that. So, you know, I think there's a level of submission, if you will, in a relationship period, because or maybe we should say surrender, right?
Yes,
I think
trust. Mm-hmm.
I think surrender is a better word, because I feel like in relationships there there are pieces of you that have to surrender to your partner for you to be able to collectively mesh together and for there to be longevity in a relationship. Where when I was single, I want to get up in the middle of the night and go to Royal Farms and get a pint of butter pecan ice cream, and I thought that was okay. My husband, if I do that now and we got a whole 8-year-old son in the house, he can be like, where the hell are you going? And if that was something that I'm like, I just got to do this, I have to surrender to at least listening to him give me his reason why he thinks that that's not safe. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that may not be the best example, but
No, that's a
know,
great example. I think so because I can relate to that totally. Like, I would think, oh, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And then I'm like, oh, no, I actually, not that I have to get permission from him, but I have to consider his feelings. I have to make sure that he is okay. Like,
mhm,
for instance, we pick up the clothes thing, and then I'm going to say something else too. Where, there have been times where I've worn something, especially if I'm going out on girls' night, and he's like, honey, I don't think that's it. And I'm like, I like it. And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, well, what is it that you don't like? What's the problem? And
mhm,
he would say what he needed to say to me. And I'm like, okay, now if it was, it didn't look right, it was see-through or whatever, okay, I would change. But if it was just like, I don't know, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going out, I look good, but I'm coming home to you, this is all you. And, he'd be like, okay, whatever. And, and sometimes that made me feel good because he was able to be vulnerable in with me to be like, I'm kind of insecure, I'm kind of jealous or whatever that you going out here looking this good, and some man might be looking at you, and I'm like, okay, they can look, but I'm coming home to you. Like,
right,
I ain't worried about that. Just like I would let him go out the house. Well, not let, but have him going out the house looking good. And I'm like, you look good. And I'm not worried because when they be like, oh, why you looking all good? You gonna be like, my wife got me this shirt. And I'm be like, that's right. That's my man.
right, right,
It didn't bother me that way because I feel like I'm gonna trust you when you go out this house and that we made vows together and that you and I pledge to belong to one another. So you are coming home to me. Now, if you break that promise to me, that's a different story, but I'm going to trust you will always come home and come back to me, right?
right.
And I think that when you mentioned leadership, like that is not also always a given, like you said, because not everybody has the skills to lead. And I think sometimes men mistake that leadership is, oh, you do what I say all the time. No, a real leader knows when they know something and when they don't. And then that's why I said sometimes you appreciate what the other person brings to their relationship. For instance, I have a married couple, and he used to tell me, I'm friends with both him and his wife. They're great people. Um and they're college sweethearts. And he was just like, he was bullheaded and was like had these old school ideas of what a man should be. And he was not good at balancing the budget and the finances of their household. And his wife was. And he said at first he was all in his ego. And then he was like, what am I doing? I'm setting us back. And he said he gave her all of that. And she put together this great spreadsheet and everything. And, they discussed their decision makings or whatever together. But
Yeah,
she got them so much further than he would have on their own. And
yeah,
he's like, and he talks about this with such pride because he's like, my wife is the bomb. She
yeah.
knows things that I don't.
I think that's important in a relationship because when you have to allow your partner to assist you where you may be weak and they may be strong. So
Yes.
this is a good segue into y'all. I got to get ready for a dinner in a little bit, so we probably we're gonna answer these questions and kind of close it out. Um, but I want to ask you all, bringing it back full circle to Daphne, Sonny, and Moses, right? Um, why do you guys think that, or you ladies rather, what made Destiny not the choice, and what do you think made him choose Sonny? Let's I'll start with D, Nanny of Maroons, and then we're gonna close out with QT.
Okay, so I think that Moses chose Sunny because she exemplified the type of woman that he wanted. She was a go-getter, she's smart, she had it going on, she was well established, as opposed to Destiny. He knew Destiny for 15 years. He knew what she was about, and he knew that he wasn't going to get to where he wanted to go with that type of woman. So he married Sunny.
There we go. There we go. Nanny of the Maroons.
Yes, I agree with her because, as I stated before, like if you don't respect yourself, love yourself, why are you expecting this from someone else? And Destiny showed us that she doesn't respect herself. So why should Moses respect her and wife her? She was the fun girl, the girl he could call all the time, anytime. Um, I don't know, but I don't think a man with, like with common sense would want a woman like that to be his wife. Because when you're marrying someone, when you're choosing someone to be your wife, you're choosing a life partner. I mean, maybe divorce will come, but when I'm thinking, at the beginning stage of a marriage, you're thinking you're going to be with this person for life. And she showed him 15 years plus that she was not the quality woman like a man would want to be their wife.
Hmm.
And Sonny, he just had a different relationship with Sunny. So I'm not for this storyline. I really, really hate the storyline. I hate this for both women to be acting the stupid, in public, just really crazy. But Sunny just showed him what maybe what he was looking for. And so he wifed her as quickly as possible because he knows that a woman like this will maybe get snatched up from another man. But Destiny was always there on, waiting. I can come around in 3 months. I can come around in 9 months. You're still here waiting. So, yeah, that's it.
Okay, QT. Thank you.
I agree with both ladies. I think just from what we've seen, first of all, I'll start by saying I did not agree with what how their relationship started. It was very questionable. And I've always side-eyed Sunny about that. However, I do accept what she said on the trip which was, I did not mean to find my happiness through your pain. I kind of believed her a little bit. Maybe, from the clip I saw. um, I think that both women are right, though. It's what she's shown him over the years. And, this is a lesson to people that you can't just be a down, ride or die, because that's not always the years you put in doesn't always mean anything. I think that just from what they said on the show, he made a comment that Destiny was not paying attention to him. Now, granted, Destiny was going through a lot of things at the time, but that she wasn't paying attention. And her quit back was, you wanted me to court you like you were my girlfriend. And I had a reaction to that, because I was like, men want to feel wanted as well. They want to feel like they are, paid attention to as well. No, you shouldn't court them the way that they should be courting you, but you should be showing interest. You should be there. They should feel like, um that you are going to be there for them in whatever way it is that they need you to be, because everybody's love language or whatever is a little bit different. And I
Mm-hmm.
also feel like it was the timing. She was going through a lot. They never got it together, because either he was in jail or she was in a marriage or whatever. And then he meets Sunny, and like you guys said, he saw the different things in her. She didn't jump at his attention right away. He said, they both said she rejected him before. I'm sure their conversation and how they related to each other was totally different. And maybe she was feeding into that love language or that need that he wanted, that he felt was missing. I don't know. I feel bad, because I do think that maybe Destiny really felt hurt by this. I believe that she loved him, and maybe he did love her, but it wasn't the right fit in the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Thank you so much for joining, ladies. And Keisha, I did see that you joined the chat. I let you up because I was going to let you go right after QT. So I'll stay on for a few more minutes if you want to come up and share your point. I would love to hear your viewpoint as well. Thank you for even thank all of you for joining and contributing to the conversation today. This really, I love this. I love getting everybody's perspective on different topics. And this was one that Square Biz actually reached out to me last night and said, hey, I would love for you to talk about this. And I said, absolutely, I will come up and do it. So thank you, ladies, so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to give my little point if Keisha doesn't come back. Everybody go, give your last words, and I'm going to say my little piece, and then I'm going to get ready for this. Go ahead. Anybody else have anything else to say?
No, just thank you for having me also. And as I say, I really, really enjoyed this topic. I think you should do this more often. It's really a valuable topic, So it was good. Thank you for having me, and take care. Yes, it's almost midnight here, so I'm gonna watch a little movie and then go to sleep. Yes, I'm in Europe.
Oh my God.
Oh, goodness. Well, you have a good evening.
By the way,
Yeah.
Danny of the Maroons. Like your accent, Square Biz, I love it. I love it. So, but thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and close this thing out with my thoughts. So, as you all know from the beginning, I felt like, first of all, Sunny is a Cancer, so I was automatically team her because she's a Cancer. But outside of that, I really didn't see the point of the back and forth. I feel like it was. I honestly don't even think that Destiny was really that hurt. I think that this was a room for a storyline for her. While I do think that, let me take that back. I think she was hurt by it, but I really feel like she couldn't be so hurt because of Sunny. I feel like if he had moved on with anybody, she would have been upset because the benefits that she was getting from him was going to now go away. I feel like in relationships, we have to understand when they've taken their course. And we can't be the barrier to somebody else's happiness. And I think that Destiny is continuously trying to be a barrier to Moses and Sunny's happiness. And if I was to give Sunny any advice, I wouldn't give Destiny any more attention on this show. I would go around her. If this is for you and Moses to be on this show, create a storyline that doesn't have to do with Destiny, because at this point you all are married. It is what it is. Destiny didn't give very much of her life on the show, so I can't imagine that she told Sonny too much information, or any at all, if you ask me. So that's my thoughts on the topic. I feel no way about them getting married. They're married. It is what it is. Okay. And it's okay for people to have a differing opinion, but for me, Destiny, go on, move on. Just move on, child. But anyway, again, thank you so much for everybody that joined the panel. Thank you so much for everybody in the chat that contributed to the conversation. And we will continue to do things like this. I think I like the listen, y'all getting me into the panels, okay? I likes the panels. Nobody traumatized me today, okay? I appreciate that. But thank you all so much. I am going to yet another dinner for my bestie. She got a whole weekend celebrating her birthday, child. We got to go to brunch tomorrow too. So, child, I just gonna be eating all day on weekend. If you all caught a video I did on Shay Renee Says on my backup channel, I was stepping earlier, so you'll see me wearing this outfit. So I just came right on in the house and did the live. So if you want to see me doing step aerobics class, y'all want to try to join in. If you know how to advance step with extreme hip hop, feel free to enjoy that content on that channel. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Please, please, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with anybody else that would be interested in this topic too. And I will see you in the next video. Peace out. Let me find my clothes out, child. I wasn't ready. There we go.